Tommy Calvert Jr. I'm a member of the Fair Contracting Coalition. I'm the guy who gave it its name. It actually was born in the offices of San Antonio Community Radio, KROV 91.7 HD2 FM, and we're working to make sure that there isn't business as usual in San Antonio. Here's the situation we have that has been happening for 60 years. It's best told through the story from Reverend Black. In 2005, when I was the deputy campaign manager to Mayor Julian Castro, Reverend Black sat us in the room and he said to Mayor Castro, he said, when I was on council, I couldn't wait for single member districts because I believed that the Latino leadership would break up who was controlling the money. As some of us, my father's often said, the 17 white guys that run this town. He said to Julian Castro at that time, but the Latino leadership, the elected leadership, hasn't broken up who's controlling the money. The same people are controlling the money that were controlling it 50 years ago. And then he proceeded to endorse Mayor Harberger. I reminded the mayor of that story and the unique opportunity, because if he moves into national leadership, he's going to need a lot of brown, black, and like-minded women to help support him. Frankly, it's a city that's 75% minority, and it's way past time that the minority businesses got the respect they deserve. Just because we're Hispanic, women-owned, Asian-owned, African-American-owned, doesn't mean that we cannot perform the jobs. Accounting is accounting, marketing is marketing, construction is construction. With the right mentorship and opportunities, we can do is great. So the Fair Contracting Coalition has been formed to break business as usual in San Antonio. We've got a tremendous job ahead of us because there are so many entities. We're starting with the governmental entities, SAWS, University Health System, City of San Antonio. We're starting with them first, but we will be coming to the corporations to make sure that people get paid on time, which is a big situation that even we're dealing with at the radio station right now, that businesses are given an opportunity, that they're not blocked out by political money. That's been a big deficit. And sometimes in the black community, we have to ask ourselves, do we need to do what Houston's done and form the power pack of people who contribute and help reform the system? You shouldn't be given a contract simply because you make a political contribution. But if that's the way business is done, maybe if we pull together, we can be a force to be reckoned with as well. So we have to be able to play this game on a lot of different levels. We have to get in the system, we have to get in the game, we have to network in the system. My mother did her PhD on black male businesses. I think, Carl, you were part of that. And one of the big things that black businesses don't do enough of is networking. So we're trying to bring the players to the community to introduce themselves and build relationships. We're trying to move beyond the bullhorn of the past. We know that there has been systemic institutional racism. We're fighting it. We're telling them to their face that's what's going on. They've acknowledged it. You can't go at 0% for African American business with the city of San Antonio. You can't and say there's no institutional racism. Their own city ordinances say that. But with all honesty, I think City Manager Scully has kept a lot of this information from the City Council. These guys who are on council, they can't possibly read. They never heard from the disparity study, the ordinance which said there is proof of discrimination at the City of San Antonio. They admit it in their own city ordinances. There is proof of discrimination in San Antonio, Texas. But the disparity study was flawed in and of itself. We've got, groups that are opposing us, really not our friends. Like the Association of General Contractors, who want to see all affirmative action gotten rid of. They're willing to sue the Supreme Court to get rid of it. So we have to be willing to say, if you do things like that, like the Association of General Contractors has done in other cities, that we'll pass an ordinance in San Antonio as a minority city that says we won't do any business with any member of the AGC that wants to fight these kinds of rules of inclusion. We aren't going to play by these same rules. We've reached a point of ultimate anger and frustration. There's no reason that San Antonio can't be the next Atlanta, the next New York, and that's the coalition that's coming together with the Fair Contracting Coalition.